Kobe. Hi, me and my pajama pants, trousers are here. Welcome back to the Yarn Chicken podcast. My name is Elizabeth and I am a knitter from Sweden. I have a YouTube channel apparently and I talk about my knitting. Today is going to follow the classic knitting podcast MO. I will talk about a finished object, some works in progress and purchases, which, spoiler alert, no purchases. Good stuff. But if you have seen any of my previous videos, my previous knitting podcasts, you will know that I have worked on the Cascade tank top by Lene Rix for what feels like ages. She's finished. I haven't cut the ends, but I've sewn them in. I am finished. I am so finished. I'm so done with this. I'm so ready to send it off. This is a birthday gift for my mother. My mother and I do not have the same bust circumference, so this is quite a lot larger than I would knit for myself. And since I'm not used to this number of stitches, I did not have the patience, or I felt my patience dying inside as I was knitting the just plain up and down body portion of it, because this is a tank top with a beautiful cable motif that is then spread into the rib that is the body. It has a raised neckline in the back and a V neckline in the front. Lovely model, fits my mother really well. I had her try it on a few weeks ago on her birthday when she was given this, just to see how the length was and if I needed to do any modifications. I did make those modifications. Now back at home, I am just now going to package it up and send it off to her. I knit it on a 3mm needle with the Sandnes Garn tynn linne, which is a linen viscose cotton mix. It is a very splitty yarn. The strands of the yarn are 3 that are very clearly defined when you hold it. It's not very densely spun at all, so me poking through the needles, I mean, the fact that I haven't, so far at least, seen any stitches that are like half pulled through is a miracle. I knitted in a double XL, I think, for a bust circumference of 110-ish centimeters. And this took me 48 years and 20% of my sanity. But my mother is going to look fire in it. So that is my finished object. Yay me, I'm so proud of myself. Never doing this again. The yarn estimate for this was 5 balls of the yarn. So this is the recommended yarn for the pattern, and for the size they estimated that I would need 5 balls. I have nearly 2 full balls left. So this is a quite light project, 160 grams maybe, because I'm guessing that every ball is 50 grams. Yes, it should be. It's not a very... I'm terrible with estimating weights, but it's a very light project. It's going to be a very good summer layering piece. Since it is the viscose and the cotton and linen, it's going to wick moisture, it's going to keep my mother cool, and it's also going to be a good piece for layering for those transitional periods. My parents live in an old house, old-ish. It's not the best temperature controlled, and in Sweden we don't do ACs really, because we have quite temperate climate, but on the hot days it will get really hot, on the cold days it will get really cold. This is not a cold weather garment by any means, so it's a shame that it's her birthday in October. But she really liked my camisole number 4 by My Favorite Things Knitwear that I knit for myself in the summer, and she wasn't going to pull out her 3mm needles and knit herself anything as ridiculous as this. So I did it for her, and I'm very happy about that. So that is my finished object. I do have like a semi-finished object. I'm desperately trying to not let my works in progress overwhelm our flat. So I'm trying to keep everything in boxes and in tote bags, but honestly it's not the easiest, but I'm trying, and that is, I suppose, a good thing. Hang on, where do I have it? Okay, so I finished one of the gingham socks that I planned to knit for my curriculum, my autumn curriculum. I wanted to learn more about small needle colour work, gauge, tension, all that stuff. And this is one of the things that I knit with that goal. So I freehanded the pattern. I had looked at Cool Stitches. She has a free, or not free, but pay what you can pattern like this. And I looked at that and I was very inspired by it. But before buying it, I thought I can try and make this myself. And I did. And I did. So this is my gingham sock. It's not blocked. I will probably have to redo the toe because it is a bit too long. I also did a new toe construction for me, where the decreases are gradual rather than a seam on each side. And I think I like the look of this, but I will have to figure out a shorter toe ratio because this is a bit too long. I would need it to be about 1 centimeter and then some shorter, and that would have to start with the decreases right where the toe begins. So this is a partially finished object, but I haven't cast on the second one yet. It's going to be inverted colours, so the dark brown will be the main colour and the light brown will be the contrast colour. This is still on the chopping block for me colour-wise. I think I'm going to be okay with it, but the fennel yellow, the fennel beige colour that this is called, it's just unfortunate. But I think as a pair it's going to look good, but I wouldn't knit another sock with this as the contrast or the main colour, so I would have to rely on the dark brown being the main feature of the other sock. But to prevent myself from getting second sock syndrome, I have a few other sock-ish projects on my needles. Oh right, I want to tell you what this yarn is. This is the Järbo tencel raggi. So instead of a nylon mix, it is some tencel mixed with the wool. So I got this in a beautiful dark brown. I think this is brown melange, and this is fennel beige. And I thought that this was much more yellow when I ordered it online because I wanted a 70s look, and this is a bit of a 70s look, but I don't know. Then I have an ongoing saga, I guess you could call it. I have the Royal Winter sock by Toby Beck. It's a free pattern, it's gorgeous, look at this pattern. But I can't figure out my gauge. So this is the first iteration I made. This is my normal 2.5mm needles. It's a 72 stitch circumference, which is my normal circumference or number of stitches. That was too tight after washing it. I thought, okay, I need to size up a bit. These are 3mm needles, same number of stitches, same yarn, the Arwetta from Folkolana. This is still too tight. I've washed this as well and it's too tight. And now I'm stuck with a thought, do I just remake them in a 3.5? Can this thin yarn sustain a 3.5mm needle? Will that just be too gapey? Do I even want to knit a third of this? Because for the foot part of the sock, the pattern changes. So I basically knit 2 of this pattern for nothing. I mean, I've learned things. Yes, great, fun. But also, I don't want another pair of Christmas socks. This is what I wanted. This is what made my brain sing. So, I don't know, maybe this is still on probation in my whip pile. I have a thought. I have something that might be an alternative, but I'll get to that in the purchases or acquisitions portion. Hang on, let me just drink some cocoa. Hot cocoa with mini marshmallows. I'm an adult. Fight me. Please don't fight me. Okay. My next work in progress is exciting. I'm so excited. You wouldn't believe how excited I am. I love Wicked, the musical. I wouldn't say that I've made it part of my personality, but it's a thing. I love Wicked. Hang on, I had to relocate to the kitchen because my dinner is cooking. My lunch is cooking. But my knitted Wicked project. I love Wicked as a musical, as a concept. I liked the book, but I want to knit myself a pair of Wicked socks for the premiere. The premiere is now in less than 2 weeks, and this is how far I've come. So I've made a pattern based off of the original poster for the musical, and this is it. It's not looking like too much. It's sort of like a white and black blob at the moment, but I have a vision, and you will have to see how that vision turns out. I'm doing my best with attention. This is the same yarn that I used for my Palestine socks that I posted about a week ago or something. So this is the Järbo again, Elon Wikland and Astrid Lindgren collaboration. So Astrid Lindgren, the beloved children's author and her illustrator for the books, their legacies basically collaborated with different colours based on the books and the illustrations. And these are just a black and white, so that's sort of basic, but I also got a green in this line, which I actually have both greens. So when I go back to do the duplicate stitching for this, I can choose how loud I want Elphaba's green to be. But this is a project that I'm very excited about, and that is taking most, but not all, of my time at the moment. But I also wanted, because this is something that I need to refer back to a pattern for, and I wanted something that didn't require me to do that. So I was umming and ahhing yesterday about what to cast on that is portable enough to take on the subway, and for some reason I thought, oh yeah, let's go for another very intricate pattern on small needles. So, hang on, don't get yourself worked up. It's all right. Big feelings aren't scary. So instead of just casting on a pair of socks, vanilla socks, no questions asked, could do them in my sleep, I decided now is the best time to cast on my replacement citrus mittens. So this is a pattern that I originally knit last year or 2 years ago, and it's a fairly simple thumb mitten with a citrus pattern. This was maybe my first colorwork project on small needles, so this yoke was my actual first. And this is the Aurora Borealis sweater by Ludmila Aksenik, I think. I will link her down below. She's a Russian pattern designer, but she has taken a public stance against the war on Ukraine on her Ravelry page, so I feel comfortable endorsing her pattern. I don't think that you can actually buy her patterns through Ravelry anymore because of the PayPal situation with Russia, but if there's a will, there's a way. I got the pattern 5 years ago, I think, and I knit it 5 years ago. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the Lotta Lundin design socks, Lotta Designs, maybe, that are lemon patterns. I love lemons. I have lemons everywhere. My dishcloth is lemon patterned as well. I think it's just a gorgeous pattern. And I liked those mittens. I was very happy with them, except for the fact that I knit them on a too thin a yarn with too much nylon, or nylon in it, period. So I've always had the thought that I could go back and redo them at some point in life. And now with my autumn curriculum plans, which is small needle colorworks, I thought what better time than now to actually do it. It's November, I need a pair of thick mittens, or warm mittens, not necessarily thick. Al dente. Some pasta water for the starch. So I thought knitting these socks now will be as good a time as any. Mittens, not socks. I'm just on a sock high. When am I not on a sock high? Where was I? Yes, the replacements that I'm knitting. I'm knitting on Rauma finull, so Norwegian wool. That is 175 meters per 50 grams, calling for a 2.5 to a 3.5 millimeter needle. And that is exactly what I'm working these on, a 2.5 millimeter needle. I only cast on yesterday, knit a centimeter, and then had better things to do. Other things to do, never better than knitting. And that pattern is, I'm going to have to find it to actually refer back to it, because at the moment I just copied the beginning of the pattern as I could see it on with the number of stitches and stuff, but for the actual colorwork portion I need to find the pattern. And I bought it on a convention 2.5 years ago, so I have it somewhere, but I know where it was before I moved, and now I've moved, so I don't know anymore where the physical pattern is. I could rebuy it to have the copy as a digital file, but you know, the constant question of, do I support small designers or do I support my own finances? So that is my current work in progress pile. I still have a big project that I'm not thinking about. I tried to find it yesterday because it could have been a good mindless sofa knit. It's a pair of slacks or trainers, joggers. What's the word? Mjukisbyxor. Soft trousers that I want to modify to have pockets, and I knit everything up until the pocket portion. I think I used a pattern from Novita Designs. Can't remember the name because I literally put it down in February of this year. I don't remember the name anymore, but I would like to be finished with that because I can't mosey around in my pyjama trousers all the time when I have a nearly finished pair of knit trousers that are just as soft and that would have pockets. So I didn't find that, but I should probably get around to knitting that. So I have a few works in progress on my needles. I will have to see what I do about the Royal Winter socks, if I remake them or if I just call it quits. Which brings me to the last portion of this video. You can just come with me because I am about to eat my lunch and be finished with this knitting podcast. Can I put you down here? Yeah? Maybe I've just cut myself off. Maybe I just shot that with my head or cut off. But it is what it is. For my acquisitions portion, I don't want to say that I acquire things when I actually mean that I bought them. I don't want to sugarcoat the fact that this is a hobby that costs money, and I don't want to portray it as completely void of consuming or consumerism. I didn't buy anything since my last video, since my last knitting podcast, but I borrowed a book from the library, The Charming Colourwork Socks by Charlotte Stone. And this is the first book, I think, that she came out with. The second one is the Joyful Colourwork Socks, and that I did find a lot more joyful. This is more basic. I still like a lot of the patterns, but they are not necessarily calling my name. Like, for example, this pattern. It's beautiful, but it doesn't call my name. But what did catch my interest a bit, I mean, except this adorable Batty for Halloween pattern, I also saw a pair of Christmas socks that I was thinking about knitting for myself instead of the Royal Winter sock. So under the chapter Celebrate Good Times, the pattern Christmas Eve Skies. I'm trying to not show you the written pattern because that would be rude. It's beautiful, but I have red and white yarn, and this looks very much like a winter sky, so I would probably want it to be a black or blue background and with the white snow crystals. But I don't think that I want to veer off my Royal Winter sock because that pattern is just, it's just so good. It looks so good. I want to have those socks and those socks in particular. So I'm trying to keep sort of a loose plan in my mind because these socks I want finished within 2 weeks for the premiere of the Wicked movie. I have the Christmas present socks, the Gingham socks that I want to finish. I have other socks that haven't even cost on yet. And the winter socks for myself, I could do them this year, but if I just don't get around to them, I will have to faff about with the gauge or the tension, the gauge for the Aweta yarn. What needle size do I need for the thin yarn to make a pair of workable socks for myself, colourwork socks? Because I want to be able to access that huge library of colours for colourwork socks. But in order to do that, I need to know what needle size I have to use to get a proper foot. God, I need food. So that is still an ongoing project that I might play around with when it's not leading up to Christmas. But these socks have priority because they are a selfish knit, and then I have a few gift knit socks that also have priority after these, including the Gingham sock, because that is a pair that I'm planning on giving away if I like them enough to actually give them away. If I don't like how it ends up looking, I will just use them myself. But that is the plan as it stands. I bought a lot of yarn in the summer when we went to Norway. It was an amazing experience. I have so much beautiful yarn that I wanted to work with. I have so many ideas that I wanted to realize, but I know that if I push these plans further and further and further off, I'm going to forget the joy and the curiosity that I have around the yarn and the projects, and that would just make me open to buy new things instead of using what I already have. So am I actually placing myself on a yarn buying ban? I think I might be. Yeah, you know what? I am placing myself on a yarn buying ban until the end of the year. I know that it's a month and 20 odd days, but until I go to Norway in January, I am not allowed to buy any more yarn. I've said it to the camera, I've said it to the world, I'm not allowed. I am allowed to buy needles and replacements for if a cable breaks or if a needle set breaks. But I have enough yarn to finish all the projects that I have currently planned for. That's the current status. I have finally finished my Cascade tank top. I'm so proud of that. I am really happy with my Wicked socks, how they are coming along. I'm very curious to see how they actually look on the foot. I will have to knit quite a long shaft to get the entire colourwork section that I want, the picture that I want, and I want to see how it translates to being in a 3D, because if it doesn't work out, if you can't see what it is supposed to be, then this experiment was a fail. But it was an experiment and it was interesting either way. So if you want to see what I get up to next, if you want to see these socks come to life, if you want to see my knitting vlog for the Cascade tank top that I'm just about ready to publish, subscribe. I've had a recent influx of subscribers from the subreddit Anti-Fascist Knitting. Great place to hang out. When I talked about my watermelon Palestine socks. And if you're one of them, welcome. If you're not one of them, also welcome. I hope to see you around here either way. So take care of yourself. I'm going to eat my lunch and stop talking.